On June 19th, 2014, the creators of Teto issued an apology to Crypton Future Media, the creators of Vocaloid, for a prank character they had made on June 21st, 2010. This prank character involved multiple nsfw themes, a real-world university, and a Prime Minister of Japan at the time. Meet Tei Sukone, an albino, sex-addicted Yandere made to troll Vocaloid fans into thinking she was real simply just to cause outrage, which totally worked because of her legit-sounding voice bank and on-brand design, much like Teto. Many people thought she was an actual Vocaloid, and as a very edgy and dense 11-year-old with symptoms, I was sold. I was sold. Hello, I am bad at names, and welcome to my first ever full-length video. I usually do redesigns of my own collections of characters, but today is the day I branch out into a niche topic of redesigning an old fake Vocaloid, or Utao, or Vocaloid. One specifically that I was obsessed with as a child. This was brought on because Teto has merchandise now and has her concerts. It's heartwarming to see such an underdog prank character who was birthed on the Japan equivalent of 4chan reach the stars in such a way. Also this year, my favourite real Vocaloid, Ai, got a new design and re-released for her birthday, and I recently learned that my other favourite Vocaloid has become lost media, so you'll love to see it. With this video, I will not only be redesigning Tei, but also going over her history, controversies, and hiring other artists that are better suited for this art style. My art style is not suited for Vocaloid, and so help me God, this is a serious mission for me. My adult years will be spent fulfilling as many childhood dreams as I can, and I will make sure they're done with grace and worship. Healing the inner child or something. Before we go into the lore of Tei Sukone, I just want to preface it with two things. Number one, I did not know most of this lore as a child, or I blocked it out because it was just not safe for child consumption. You saw the warning at the start of this video. I'm not going to go too in depth for YouTube's sake, but I can't not mention some things. And the second thing is a lot of this information is disjointed with multiple sources that I can't really confirm other than it matching up with other testimonies across the internet. Half of this is because of translation issues, and a lot of it is because of old pages being scrubbed and just a lot of it being hearsay on like Reddit and Wikipedia. I'm doing my best. Anyway, allow me to give you the world's quickest crash course on Tei Sukone, otherwise known as Scottei. On the former website known as 2chan, there was a community that made characters that they dubbed Vocaloids, which were their brand of fan-made Vocaloids, which were usually to prank and deceive people into thinking that these were real characters, released by Crypton Future Media, or I'm pretty sure there's other Vocaloid companies. This includes Teto, who was their first baby, being released on April 1st, 2008. Most of their other characters aren't really worth mentioning. They all have kind of strange traits or have a gag attached to them, and I'm not too sure what happened between creating Teto and the character we're talking about today, but there was something in the creative process that happened. Anyway, Tei Sukone was created on June 21st, 2010, 2 years after Teto. Tei was concepted by an artist that I believe went by Uramiti. I'm probably saying this wrong. I'll have names on screen. And then another unknown artist. And then the final design was done by a user who went by Shoya. Aside from being made to just troll Vocaloid fans into thinking she was real, Scottei was also used to mock fans who made their own stereotypical edgiest. We've all been there. I was 12. Hence the entirely unoriginal design. It was intentional. She was released with a voice bank using the voice of somebody named Futaba Kako, and here's a sample of her voice. Anyway, that's enough of that. And they decided to give us some horrific traits, so let me just go into details on those. These traits included hating Miku, hating all Vocaloids, being sexually attracted to traffic lights, being a chronic masturbator. Her favorite item is a cucumber, which probably relates to the previous entry. She supposedly attends a real-world university in Japan, giving massive hello I am real girl vibes. She is supposedly being hunted by the Japan self-defense forces, and she hates the, at the time, Prime Minister Yukio Hatoyama. And then of course she was obsessed with Len to a murderous degree, and I just want to mention right now, Len is 14, Tei is 19. This would make Tei a... I was gonna say it, not cool, Japan. And she likes baking. All of these traits, aside from the last one, will be totally rehauled just days before her 4th anniversary. On June 19th, Tei Sukone's webpage had an update. We have sent a letter of apology regarding the phishing incident to Crypton Future Media Incorporated. Further details will be announced shortly. We apologize for any inconvenience to the Scottei users and ask for your understanding and cooperation. Please refrain from contacting Crypton Future Media Incorporated regarding this matter. Ended 1 day later, it was followed up with, on June 20th, received a response from Crypton Future Media Incorporated. We received a written statement confirming that there are no issues regarding Scottei's future activities. We are grateful for their prompt response and exceptional consideration. We have posted our apology below. We once again sincerely apologize to everyone who was offended by our phishing activity. Scottei Channel Management Team. They attached the email that they sent to Crypton Future Media below. Her Utah fandom wiki page does go into detail about what it says. A week later, on the 26th, they posted the email they sent to Crypton Future Media, in which they detailed their sincere apologies for their offensive actions for presenting Tei Sukone as one of the company's Vocaloid 2 characters. They admitted that there were opinions that Tei Sukone should have been taken down after their initial prank, but there was a strong desire to continue with their activities. They felt it as an obligation to fans of Tei Sukone to also formally apologize to Crypton. They thanked Crypton for their fast reply on the 20th, and further announced that there will be no problems with Tei's future activities. And following forward, Tei's page has not been updated since about 2019. As a whole though, Vocaloids kind of just faded out into obscurity due to lack of interest around 2015. Anyway, I'm here to kick this dead horse, so let's get into a redesign in case you forgot what this was about. I already knew what angle I wanted to take her design when I was sketching ideas around 2 years ago. I call the style I'm going for Hannibal Lecter meets cyberpunk infused into a Vocaloid. Her outfit would have a total rehaul, but I wanted to keep certain features like the lace, the huge sleeves, this chain details and chunky belt, which was so iconic in like the 2010s. I was also just going to keep the color palette, because I mean there's nothing really to change there, and there's only so much you can change before things just look totally different. I wanted to up the crazy, so I grabbed some inspirations for how I imagined her modern personality and design. These characters were Abba from Guilty Gear, the modern one, Shiro from Dead Man Wonderland, who as a kid I thought was Tei Sukone for a long time. I'm telling you, I was real stupid. A bit of Tomoko from Watamote and Nagito Maeda. In my head, this version of Tei is recognized as unwell, and she's designed to look like a giant warning label. So I added huge spikes to her headset that would literally inhibit people from getting too close. I also added a gas mask. I hope you like my accent, which in my mind works as both a restraint mask to keep her from biting people, and her microphone set, which can be turned off to stop her from yapping if she gets a bit too silly. Sometimes we have to keep our intrusive thoughts in sometimes, and that's okay. All of this, plus her sleeves, which I believe I made them even longer, gave her a very top-heavy look, which is precisely what I was after. It'd be hard for her to lash out if she was literally weighed down by like the arms and by her head. I have a distinct image of her dragging her upper body around and being unstable when she walks, kind of like her personality. Much like how Tei is depicted in her first concept art, she's got a kind of a lean forward. I also think of how Abba from Guilty Gear holds herself and use that as a bit of a reference. Or even how it would look if a ragdoll with long arms and a big head would look standing upright and trying to walk. That's kind of the reference I'm going for, just something a little bit uncanny. Next up was her hair, which was one of the hardest parts in my opinion because I didn't know how much to change until she was just unrecognizable. I can see in her original concept that her hair is meant to look like a ghost, I believe. If so, looks great. But the thing is, how do I say this? Every Vocaloid has bangs and straight hair, and it gets boring, and I at least wanted to scruff her up a bit for this. While I was going back and forth on this, IA's new design came out, and she has a big haircut, so I lost all guilt, and now we're just giving Tei Sukone curly hair. So in this redesign, she will be having curly, scruffed up hair that has a bit of a red ombre, which just adds something. I couldn't tell you what, but I feel like it fits. Lastly is the outfit, no doubt probably the most important thing. After looking at ideas for a while, back and forth, I knew I wanted to change everything. Right off the bat, I'm going to be changing all of this into a short bodysuit as opposed to a skirt and top. Her original feels very juvenile, if that makes sense, which given her old interest feels, you know. So I took a nice look at some cyberpunk-esque bodysuits and worked it in. As for her shoes, I wanted to keep that level of cute daintiness that she had there. So I gave her thigh-high socks with red lace and some boots that I tried to make as skinny as possible. And I tried to make them as simple as possible just so it could add to that top-heavy look. I didn't want to put too much weight on her feet. So I have a vision, it's clear, but I do not have the technical skill for this, nor do I have the patience to learn a whole new art style and then master it. Still, here's the concept I did. It's a very rough concept, but with this I went to VGen and started a voyage to find the perfect artist for my dream. In case you don't know, VGen is a website much like what Fiverr used to be, but it bans AI and focuses solely on artists. You can find a lot of someones who are willing to make you a VTube model, start to finish, edit videos, voice act, etc., do just illustrations. It is the perfect hub for indie creators looking to find work and for people looking to get work done. I think if you're an artist, you should get on VGen. It did not take long for me at all to find an artist that had exactly what I was looking for. Here is Bilsu. I'll show what I can in terms of their art, since a lot of it is not YouTube safe. But as you can see, it's stunning. Please follow Bilsu on all platforms and commission them if you're looking for stunning work with an amazingly patient and accommodating artist. Seriously, like, I get so anxious when commissioning people because I feel like every time I ask for something to be changed, I feel like I'm the world's worst person. It's a pretty universal thing, but Bilsu was incredible. 10 out of 10. Anyway, with Bilsu's amazing work and a lot of back and forth edits, we came to the final result. And can I just say, she's everything. She's everything I wanted and more. Starting from the top, we added more lights to her headset and some glowing features to her mask. Specifically, those lines are meant to look like the Hannibal Lecter restraint mask. There's also a choker with a bone chain link, implying that she broke out of her restraints. High long style escape, I'm thinking. The choker is complemented by her asylum jacket-inspired bodysuit with matching sleeves. It's got the buckles there, very cool. And it also includes a double belt as a sweet homage to that early 2010s punk fad of just useless belts. And then we ditched the boots in favor of some cute Mary Jane shoes with the Vocaloid knobs. I'm not sure what they are, but she has them. In this modern rendition, I would say she's still a little whacked out, but not to her horrific murderous child grooming stand. She's been to rehab for her corn addiction and violent tendencies, and now she's just okay enough to be outside in public with her normal pills. Maybe, kind of. Kind of like when a show domesticates a villain. I always love that trope. It's kind of what I'm picturing here. But if she ever does get a little too silly, her mask doubles as a microphone so you can turn it off and effectively just mutes her. As a reference to her old self attending an engineering school, I would say Tei likes to build and invent things that often blow up on her. Not that she minds. Dare I say, I think she enjoys it. I think it's fair to keep a level of a dirty mind in there, but obviously greatly reeled in. Tei values love greatly, but she thinks she might not be worthy of it. Again, think of Arbor, I would say. Instead of being obsessively attached to one character, person, etc., I think it's more modernly fitting to have Tei be implied to obsessed with whoever is listening to her music, like a parody of parasocial relationships, which have been popular to talk about recently, and a parody of how boy bands will have romantic songs that are just vague enough to be for any young girl who listens, so they have a chance of being with them, just in their mind, you know. This new Tei is prone to mood swings, impulsive behavior, depersonalization, and derealization. If these symptoms feel familiar to you, then that's just a coincidence. Even though I've finished basically talking about the design and what I think she would be like modernly, my Tei quest isn't done. This is a serious mission for me, like I said. On VGen there are Vocaloid synthesizers, songmakers, MMD modelers, and hundreds of amazing artists. This whole thing was just made for fun, as a former fan and, dare I say, current fan of Tei Sukone. Growing up as a little kid who wanted desperately to be different, I'm going off script here. I thought I wrote something about this, but I didn't. Being a little kid who, not even little, I would say like, again, when I started liking Vocaloid, I was around 11, I went to an all-girls school, and I just had a lot of resentment for the world, and I just wanted to like anything that was different or contrarian. And so when I read up on Tei Sukone and other Vocaloids with strange lore, I just kind of fell in love. I loved that she was contrarian, that she was just angry, and just strange, and something that people didn't like. I really attached myself to that. And then I would be diagnosed with personality disorder years later, but that's probably unrelated. So anyway, I'm just saying this because I've been seeing a lot of people posting about what Vocaloid meant to them in middle school, and I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in, because my Vocaloid favorites don't have merch, and if they do, they're out of my price range, and they always will be, or they just don't exist, or they, went missing in Cincinnati. I don't know what happened to them. So I suppose instead of buying merchandise, official merchandise that doesn't exist, I would spend some money doing this for her instead. What did they say on TikTok? Giving back to the girl that raised me in middle school. Yeah. And I'm really happy with the result. Regardless, this redesign is just for my own enjoyment and hopefully yours too, so I'll keep at my revival mission at least for my own childhood wish fulfillment. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and do let me know if you have a favorite Vocaloid from your childhood that was also niche, or tell me about, even if they were a popular one, tell me why you liked them. And if they are niche, I would love to read up on their lore. That hasn't changed about me. I love reading up on niche characters. And look, if you are someone who watched this and was like, hey, I could help with one of those things in this potential project's future, like UTAL synthing, MMD work, and then like I implore you to make a VGen account or leave a comment. I will stalk you and see what you do. At the very least, I'll check out what you have. And of course, don't you dare forget to follow Bilsu on social media. This project would have been nothing. It would have been dirt. It would have been ash without them, and how patient and amazing they are. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and subscribe to my YouTube. You don't really have to. I usually do redesigns of my own characters from when I was little. So this is my first time branching out, and I may do more redesigns of other things, but if that's not your cup of tea, I completely get it. Chance there won't be much like this for quite a while, considering this took quite a while to do. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.